Hello everybody, happy Friday, happy Friday. I hope this message finds you well. I know that this week has been such an important week in the Astros with Neptune going into Pisces on December 9th. And I don't know about any of you, please feel free to share in the comments because we are in this journey together, okay? This week was not the week that I expected at all. That's why I haven't been able to, this is the first time I've been able to make a video in like 5 days. So this week was not the week I expected. And I just want to come on here and share a little bit of my week in hopes that if any of you experienced a week like I have, you know you're not alone. And, you know, unfortunately this week, I lost a really, really amazing person. I lost a loved one, and it was really hard. We found out the news on Sunday, and it just was very unexpected. You know, she was in her older age, and the way that she passed, we couldn't ask for anything more. You know, but it's still hard. It's still hard when you lose a loved one. You know, what I am grateful for is that at least I have the awareness to know that when a loved one passes away, that we don't really ever lose them. They're always there. We might not see them in the physical, but they are there in the spiritual. And I am very blessed that I have the gift to be able to fully know that, you know, and be able to experience communication still. In the ethers, you know, heaven, all those things, whatever you want to call it. So that's how the week got started. And I just, you know, if you're ever faced with like just a series of unfortunate events, that's kind of what I've been experiencing, I feel like this week, of just like little things. You know, you ever experience those like weeks or days where, you know, just like you keep dropping everything, or you stub your toe, or just, I won't even go into detail as far as some of the things that has happened to me this week. But you get to a point where you're just, and that was me yesterday, where I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, I had car trouble yesterday. I've never had any issues with my vehicle the entire time I've had it. You know, there was certain plans that fell through because of the situation of, you know, the car and things like that. And just, you know, it's so hard to not get defeated in those moments. And, you know, what I've been doing and why you haven't heard from me is I've really have had to practice my spiritual awareness and what I know to do when I'm being faced with these challenges. And for me personally, I tend to pick up very much on spiritual attacks, where I just feel this negative energy is being sent my way. And of course, you know, I'm so grateful that I have that awareness, and I feel that, you know, many of you, I'm sure, have that. You've developed that strength over the years, going through your awakening and just growing and evolving as a person and as a collective we have, you know, and even with me knowing the things that I know to do, it still doesn't make going through the trenches or the challenges easier. You know what I mean? I mean, okay. Yes and no. You know, I don't want to come on here and say that I have all the answers and I know what to do and, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm not going to do that, because this week has been a really tough week for me. There's been a lot of revelations. There's been a lot of seeing people's true colors. Again, with car trouble, just setbacks, you know, just all these setbacks, or it's like, and you keep fighting. You're just like, okay, well, I'm going to fight this one, and I'm going to wake up this morning, I'm going to put yesterday behind me, and I'm going to keep going, and then you keep getting hit. I just want to encourage you, I seriously do, to honor yourself when you're going through those moments. You know, don't feel that, you know, your spiritual practice is being, you know, thrown away, or that, you know, all the work and the heart, like everything that you've been doing up until that point is for nothing, because it's not. You know, I feel that, you know, certain people, like this week, you could have experienced an awesome week where you know, you received the downloads that you needed, you got clarity, you know, you got confirmation on things, prayers were being answered, all of those things. And I hope and pray that if that was your experience, hallelujah. Like, I'm so happy for you. I truly am. You know, but I want to speak on the people that maybe things didn't go the way that you were expecting it to. I had some crazy dreams, and dreams that I was like, what does that mean? Gosh. And I just want to say that, you know, we're always going to be healing. You know, I feel like, you know, if you're sitting there telling yourself that, oh, if I get to this point, I'm good. Like, no, I feel that life is just a journey all in itself. And, you know, this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't make it the fact or the truth or the right. It's just based on my experience. For a long time, I used to get so disappointed because I was like, man, I'm finally here. I'm here, and I'm thinking I'm going to stay here. But then God's like, nope, I have more work for you to do. I have more healing. I have more shedding. I have more surrender that I need for you to do. And so I just want to let you know that you're not being punished, okay? There are times where I'm like, God, I feel like I'm trying so hard. I'm showing up every single day. I'm being a kind person. I'm doing my spiritual practice, you know, all these things. Why am I experiencing this? And, you know, and I'll cry out to God, and I'll just sit there and say, please bring me clarity. I don't get what's happening right now. And in those moments, you know, where I'm just shedding and I'm crying and I'm releasing, I get reminded of how truly blessed I really am. And no matter what, you know, negative energies are being sent my way, I know who I am. And I think that that is the most important thing, and something I really want to just continue to talk about, is that self-love, that self-awareness, and to have your truth. Because when you know your truth, you won't waver. It doesn't matter who comes at you, what is being said behind your back, you know, what you're experiencing, whether it's job, family, friends, whatever the case may be. When you know your truth and you have God by your side, and you know that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you. It matters what God thinks of you, and God loves you. Despite the mistakes that we make, there's so much forgiveness, and He loves us unconditionally, no matter what. And I apologize. I know that there's so many beautiful people who have messaged me, and I have not been able to get back to you. I want you to know that I do see you, and I thank you for your grace and your patience on me getting back. For me personally, I love to show up being present, you know, in a way that, you know, in my mind, I mean, this week, I haven't even been able to, like, I feel like my words have been scrambled. My mind has just been all over the place. And, you know, and for me, I tend to go back into hermit when that happens, because I take it as a sign, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to figure this out. I need to meditate. I need to really tap in and see what it is that the universe is trying to show me right now. And so if you had a week like I had, I want you to know you're not alone. And I'm sending you so much love, so much healing energy at this time, because, you know, it's tough. And especially, you know, we're in the holiday season, and not only do you have the stress of, you know, trying to get everything put together and just your list of things that you have to do, and then you're just sitting there facing these setbacks. It can be very discouraging, and you definitely can get in your head and just be like, you know, and I just encourage you to never give up. Never give up. When you sit there and you're feeling spiritually attacked, or you're feeling that negative energy or evil eyes being sent your way, I want you to fight back. I sit there and I'm like, oh, no. You heard that saying, not today, Satan. Because again, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, okay? We're not fighting against certain, like, individual people. What we're fighting against is when those people are living or walking in a lower vibration, the enemy is able to use those people to attack you. And sometimes those people don't even realize it's happening, but they're being used as a vessel to bring setbacks in your life, or to bring negative energy, or to lower your vibration. And my just advice to you is to, when you can think that way, it's almost like you get like, okay, what's up? Like, you gotta, I know it's hard, and it's okay. It's okay if you're not like that at first. It's okay to sit there and cry and to just, do what you have to do, because that is also a part of healing. You don't want to sit there and just mask what it is that you're experiencing, or just brush it under the rug, because it's going to catch up to you. It's going to come back in some way, shape, or another. And whether it's a trigger or whether it's the same experience, just with a different person, whatever the case may be, So you never want to just, at least, again, these are all just advice on my journey of what I've experienced. So you want to face it head on, okay? And however your body and you respond to it, allow yourself to, okay? Because that it's not going to be like that forever. Everything's going to be okay. It, because it always is. That's the thing. That is the beauty and the faith of God. And this is why I love to journal so much, is because when we look at our lives, because I see all of you, and the milestones that you've made, and just the growth you've experienced. And it's like, when we can look back and be like, okay, I was in a really dark place at that time. Did I stay there? No, if anything, I grew more as a person, involving, and now know how to handle that situation better the next time that it rolls around, because it's not an if, it's when. And that's just the reality of it. And when we can kind of just show up into the world and just let go of all those expectations, and are thinking that, we're exempt from things happening to us, when those things do occur, yeah, they're going to suck. I'm not going to sit here and try to BS you and say, oh, it's not so bad. Like, no, it sucks. Like, it sucks. But just know that, and again, honestly, me personally, I had a few people tell me this week, like, it's gonna be okay, like, you're fine, it's gonna be okay. And I'm just like, nobody wants to hear that when you're into the trenches, okay? Like, I just don't, because I know in my heart it's gonna be okay, but it still sucks when you're going through it. So I just want to honor you, and if you've had a week like I've had, it is gonna be okay. And because God has always pulled you out, always. And I know it's exhausting. I know it can be tiring. I know you can sit there and say, when is enough enough? Why is it that I see all these other people around me, thriving, and they're not having to experience as many setbacks and challenges as I have? Is there something I'm doing wrong? Why? You ask all those questions, and those are great questions to ask, and God wants us to communicate with him like that. For me, God is not a religion to me. I don't believe in religion. I don't. Mine is a relationship with God, and God is my best friend. And and as your I don't know how you are with your best friend, but when shit's hitting the fan, we talk to our best friend, and we open up, and we cry, and we shed, and we share those things. And if you have an amazing best friend, that amazing best friend is going to lift you up, lift your spirits. And that's the same thing with God, So I just highly recommend that, when you're walking this path of awakening and trying to live a life that is different than most, to just not give up, okay? Not give up. Talk to God as if you were talking to your best friend. Wait for guidance. Love yourself, honor yourself, look in the mirror and say, you know what? Things are pretty crummy right now, but you got this. You got this, because you've always had it. It's within you. And don't ever allow anybody or any circumstance or any situation keep you down, okay? Because you are going to wake up the next morning or one morning after you've gone through and you know, and you're going to wake up like today. I'm able to create a video. I woke up just accepting, you know, the situation and the setbacks and understanding, okay, this was a week. And I know that throughout this weekend, I'm going to continue to get clarity, and, you know, and I'm okay. And I just made it out of another one. So it's like, you know, when you can get that fiery and just be like, ha, you can't keep a good dog down. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to have that fire within you to rise up and to say, no. You might have got me a little bit. You might have got me in my feelings. Oh, but guess what? Thank you. Thank you, because you just made me 10 times stronger. Bada bing, bada boom. So I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know where I'm at, be vulnerable, be honest. You know, it's been one of those weeks, and I just want to send so much love. And just to encourage you to keep going, okay? Keep going, make time for yourself, okay? Because you really, I really learned this a few years ago, and it really inspired me and motivated me more to practice and learn about self-love. And because it just, God hit me with that message, like, you truly can't love another person unless you love yourself. And again, this is just my opinion and my experience. And I love to love, and I do want to show up for people in my most highest self. So you're honoring the people in your life when you take time for yourself, when you love yourself and you put yourself first. My whole life, I lived a way that I put everybody else first. You know, I would sit there and just be completely run dry, on empty, and I'm still showing up, okay? Yeah, that's great for the other person because they're still receiving your love, but then you're just over here completely depleted. And then it'll get to, and I know that a lot of you already know this, I'm just speaking out in case there's somebody who doesn't, who, you know, is still living in that mindset of thinking, well, I can't do that. I don't have time for that. Like, because this person's counting on me, and you know, it's like, as parents, I know a lot of us are parents, and, you know, we want to show up for our kids, right? Well, when we sit there and we don't honor ourselves, half the time we show up, we're less patient. You know, we just don't have that same mentality if we were to get the rest or just to make that time. You know, we would be able to give 100%, like our authentic self. I hope I'm making sense. Like I said, this has been a week where, I mean, I can't even believe I'm making a video right now because I'm just like, again, my words and my thoughts have kind of been all over the place. But really, I just wanted to make this video in hopes that, again, if you guys are experiencing this or you have experienced it, know you are not alone at all. You know, I sometimes, you know, get those really dark feelings or like thinking, and that really gets me because I'm just like, I know this isn't me. I know that these are not my thoughts. I know that, like, why I worked so hard to get to the point where I'm at, and then when those things happen, it really can set you back, but it really can make you grow and make you become even more of a freaking warrior, like a divine warrior, and to where you're able to go out once you get past that, whew, you're unstoppable. So don't give up. Please do not give up. You know, if you ever need to talk to somebody, seriously, like, or if you need prayer, just reach out to me, okay? Because, again, I understand. I am not perfect, okay? I am not perfect. I you know, for the people who think that I live a cush life, given. I am so blessed, and I have love surrounding me, and I am so grateful for absolutely everything that I've experienced, the good and the bad in my life. But I get it. I still face trials of many, many kinds, and I think that the chosen ones, and again, we're all chosen, but the people who are willing to answer the call, so many people think that, oh, well, they believe in God, their life must be this, that, and the other. But I honestly have always believed, and especially because my own experience, when you decide to walk a higher path and you choose to, not live with an ego, and you're willing to shed all the layers of yourself and to do the shadow work and really dedicate your life to heal, so you can go out there and be the best version of yourself, to raise the vibration as a collective and bring Christ consciousness back onto earth, and to bring new earth, because I truly believe that's what it means when it says Jesus is returning back to earth, is when we raise that vibration and we anchor it in. I feel like when we are doing that, we are faced with some of the biggest challenges and the darkest thoughts, and it's not to hurt us, it is not to punish us, it is to elevate us. Okay, we are meant to rise above all of this. So when we sit there and every time it's like, okay, we're faced with this, we rise above it, face again, we rise above it, and we are just, whoo, I have chills all over my body. Okay, we got this, and we're not alone. Okay, we're not alone. God is always with us, and you are loved beyond measure. If no one's told you today or in a while of just how wonderful you are and how amazing that you are and how worthy you are to live the life of your dreams and to be able to receive good things and unconditional love, I'm here to tell you that you are. And again, I know that many of you are going to be like, you don't know me, you don't know my walk. But I do know, because I have a heart of Jesus, and I know that even Jesus stood, with the sinners and with, people who were misunderstood and the outcasts. That's who Jesus was showing up for. And another thing, I hope that you've made it this far. I know it's 22 minutes, but yesterday when I was really just going through it and thinking about things, I just immediately, I felt like God brought me back to the story of Job. And, remembering how, sometimes we think to ourselves, like, why does God allow this? Why does God allow us to face these things? If God loves us unconditionally, why does he allow us to go through so much dark and so much pain and suffering? And that's another video to get on, because that's just, there's a lot to talk about there. But as far as what God shared with me yesterday, is I remembered the story of the enemy coming to God and said, and God said, okay, I'm going to allow you to do this. But I just know that my child is not going to deny me. No matter what you throw at him, I can assure you that my child is not going to disown me. Like, he's not going to sit here and blame God, and I just remember all the things that Job lost and all the challenges. And I mean, seriously, what Job experienced was so heart-wrenching. And imagine that most people would have just sat there and blamed God and lost their faith. And, and instead what Job did is he continued to have his faith. He didn't deny God. He didn't blame God. He didn't understand it, but no matter what he faced, he still trusted and had faith, and he surrendered and said, God, I don't know what it is, what I did, what's going on, but I do know that you are always for our highest and greatest good, and that you do love us unconditionally. So whatever it is that I am going through, I will face it, and I will still honor you. And, and what God did for Job was that he blessed him tenfold for his faith and for his trust in him. And so I just encourage you that even when it feels that you are losing, or that, you know, God is removing things, like, just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is always a purpose, always a purpose. And even if you don't understand it, just know that God sees it. He sees every storm. He knows every tear. He hears every prayer. Okay? And just please don't give up, and don't lose your faith. Okay? Don't lose your faith, because it's not God. Okay? God gives us free will, and free will to make our choices in life. And that's unconditional love. That's not possession. That's giving us an opportunity to build a relationship with him if we so choose. But he doesn't force us to do anything. I know that there's some things in the Bible that would say otherwise, but this is what God has walked me through in my journey of really understanding my connection and relationship with God. Okay? And I just... yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to end this here because I'm already almost 30 minutes, but I hope this reached whoever it was meant to reach, and I hope that it made a difference. I hope that you just feel my love, my energy, okay? And I pray that God is with you and your loved ones this weekend. I pray that you have a wonderful weekend. I pray that you make time for yourself, whether it's 30 minutes, okay? You owe it to yourself, okay? And you owe it to your family. And you owe it to, you know, your children. You owe it to, you know, you just owe it mainly to yourself. Come on now. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you did to honor yourself this weekend. You know, hit me up on Monday. Because, yeah. But anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your energy, your time. I have so much gratitude. I truly do. Like, being able to do this, and it just means so much to me. Like, I have spent so many years of God pushing me to do this, and me just being like, God, I don't understand. Like, what is my words gonna really do? Like, I'm just me, you know? And then God's really like, no, you're more than that. And I see it now. Like, I am special. I am important. I am a child of God, and I'm a divine warrior, and I'm a badass. So I've gone through a lot, and I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep honoring myself, even when I'm facing the challenges, and even if I'm feeling down and out, even if sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed because I'm just like, but like, God, what is happening? You know, and the enemy of the lower vibrational will sit here, and they just keep testing and poking and prying, and you just got to put that divine armor on. You pray and you ask your guides, your guardian angels, your divine ancestors of the highest of white light, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. You sit there and you just start praying the power of prayer, and you just say, no, God, just shower me with your divine protection. And you rebuke those negative energies, and you call back your power. You call back your power. Nobody takes your power, okay, unless you allow them to. So when you're feeling depleted, you're feeling drained, or you're in a place where all of a sudden you're just like, I don't feel right, something's off. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, okay? Trust it. Because I probably can say this with confidence, it's never led you astray. You've been pretty spot on, okay? So trust what you feel. Sometimes you may see things, but it could be an illusion. So remember that. So go based off of your gut feeling on how you feel about a situation, or about a person, or a place, or a job, or whatever it may be, okay? So again, I love you all so very much. Thank you for your time and just being here with me. And sending you all so much love, light, and truth always. Thank you.